that's, you know... But either ways, I feel like... Maybe not. Maybe you're wrong. Anyways. Haven, crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me. Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really. Creighton is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop. A detective has very much trust in eyes. More than this, I cannot see. Detective has very much trust in eyes. More than this, I cannot see. I don't believe it. These 6 jurors are... They're going to believe Gregson. If they declare their decision now... Is Jenny going to be found guilty? I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. Is Jenny going to be found guilty? If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then we're going to lose. Either some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windibank or stole those government secrets. Or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness. Well then, Counsel. I think it's time I imposed on the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court. Okay. Sorry, just, If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Gina will be found guilty. So there's no choice then, Rito. You have to throw some more evidence at them. This is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? Definitely saving! Let's take a look. What do we have here? Confirmed instant death due to a single bullet wound to the back. Okay, hold on, let's look at the history. What do we got? Okay. Some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windibank or stole those government secrets, or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting he struck a deal with the witness. Those are my 2 options. Hold on, just making sure this notification isn't anything important. Okay. Proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windibank or stole those government secrets. See. Adam think? Who'd have thought there would be a second movement on the underside of the box?
And this movement is like the other one. The comb's teeth are all the same length.
So this movement also only produces a single tone, like the other one?
Yes, it must do. Except that the length of the teeth on the two combs isn't the same. So the single tone produced by this movement will be slightly different to the single tone we've already heard.
What?
Basically, each movement can only produce a single note.
But the notes they produce are different. A music box that can only play two tones. This is the mechanism that turns the bumps on the disc into sound, isn't it?
Yes, the movement. It's all thanks to the comb with its teeth that are plucked by the passing bumps. Usually the teeth on the comb are different lengths so that each one produces a different tone. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth are exactly the same length.
Well, what does that mean?
It means that no matter which tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the music box will make the same sound. I've never seen a music box like it before.
Yes, it is strange. A music box that can only play a single note. There has to be some significance to that, surely. See how the 4 McGilded disc sits in the music box the man deposited at Windibanks? It couldn't be a more perfect fit.
So there's no question then. The disc was designed to be played in this music box.
Yet despite that, the sounds it produces are neither musical nor do they appear to have any meaning. It just doesn't make any sense.
I wonder if perhaps there's more to this music box than meets the eye. Maybe we haven't discovered all its secrets yet.
Okay, we did actually go through all that already. This is the bullet that was fired from the Skulkin brothers' gun on the night of the incident.
Yes, so it turns out, it never actually entered Hurley's body at all.
Thanks to the thick leather of that pouch he was wearing, it saved him.
Hurley's always lucky like that.
Well, considering what he had to go through in hospital, I wonder how lucky he really was. Oh, dang it.
Oh dear, poor Hurley.
Hold on, guys. I need to, I just forgot to get myself a water bottle, which I desperately need for my Ace Attorney streams with the 2 hours of voice acting. I'll be right back. There we go. I literally filled up a whole water bottle with, you know, fresh cold water to do this, and then I left it downstairs. If that's not, you know, representative of ADHD and executive dysfunction, I don't know what is. Although it's not the worst.
These glass vials are full of Hurley's homemade potions.
Homemade?
Yes, like fingerprint powder to show up where where people have touched things, and scent amplifying solution to intensify smell lingering on an object.
That's amazing.
They're all very easy to use. There's just one thing that you have to be careful of. They're all very flammable.
Mr. Shows is a walking bomb. Either he's passionate about finding out the truth or just oblivious to the dangers. Both, probably. Okay. Goodness, what am I missing? What am I missing? None of this is admissible in court. Oh. Great. No, I can't apparently go further back than that. Inspector Gregson, there is one final piece of evidence I would like you to see. Eh? What's that then? If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly.
Well, go on.
This is my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit to the deal he clearly struck with Graydon. Honestly, like, I'm thinking Iris's manuscript? Maybe? Probably not. But I just don't know what else we have.
Take that!
Nope. What on earth is this, Counsel? Irrefutable proof, my lord, of the corrupt dealings that went on between these two men. Or perhaps irrefutable proof of the corrupt workings of my learned friend's mind. Ugh. These callous dastards. Their queen just died, and here they bicker over a music box. So tragic. Yeah, well... There's a lot of very mixed responses to that development today. It's been interesting, to say the least, to see how far the reactions to the Queen's death have, you know, the width that they cover. You know, there's a lot of different reactions. Also, hello, sir. Really, counsel, at this stage of the proceedings, I would have expected a more considered argument. The defense will be duly penalized. They only struck that deal at the very last possible moment when they were in the stand. What's more, there's no love lost between them, clearly. It was strictly business.
If you think about it, murder and treason are both such serious crimes.
Yes, punishable by death.
So I don't think old Silky's going to admit to either anytime soon, do you?
No, but Gregson, on the other hand, he is just refusing to admit to what happened because he's been sworn to secrecy, out of a sense of duty.
I wonder, if Gregsy's lips are sealed because he's determined to do his duty, then perhaps to prise them open, you're going to have to be determined enough to do your duty too, Runo.
Of course, he'd do anything to follow his orders, so...
The jury has indicated its readiness to declare its final findings. I urge you to consider this as your own final deed in this trial, counsel.
This is my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit to the deal he clearly stuck with Graydon. Okay. Okay.
Those are the scales of justice, aren't they?
Yes, that's right. Mr. Sada says they symbolize equality and fairness of judgment.
But if it's the symbol used by defense lawyers, shouldn't it at least be leaning a little to the not guilty side?
My thoughts exactly.
Oh, I've seen letters like these before. They're called kanji, aren't they? So this is how you write your name in Japanese.
Actually, no. That's not my name at all.
Runo, you know that stealing is wrong, don't you?
First of all, I inherited this from my best friend on his death. Second of all, if anyone has stolen it, it's you. You just grabbed it from me.
Is everything all right? You've gone very quiet all of a sudden.
It's a long story. Too long for now. We'll talk about it another time. Yeah, Iris is pretty damn great. Come on, Adam, think. What can you do to prove? Or at least get him to reconsider? Yeah. Oh, probably less there. I mean, she's a prodigy. In, like, every possible regard.
Take that!
Nope, that wasn't it. That was not it. Why did Gregson even make the deal again? He made the deal because, his orders from up top were, there was this whole investigation, oh, sorry, hold on, sorry. Thank you, councils, I have seen enough. According to the powers vested in me by Her Majesty the Queen, I declare no further examination necessary. As such, I will be requesting the final decisions of the members of the jury. Are you all ready, Mr. Foreman? Absolutely, my good sir. Then please announce your findings to the court.
Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
So he made the deal, Sarah, because he was desperate to keep the case he was working on about the information being sold outside the country as confidential as possible. And so he needed the second disc that that Graydon had. So he made the deal with Graydon to leak information about this murder trial and the investigation with this murder trial. He leaked information to Graydon so that he could get the disc. The second disc. That's what it was. I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, guilty. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I applaud your considered and expedient deliberations. Court is adjourned. And we're definitely just gonna, try again, obviously. Retry from this scene. Of course, he'd do anything to follow his orders. Brian Gregson with fish and chips! Or threaten him with force feeding him vegetables. Yeah, because I was thinking, he already has, like, an endless supply of fish and chips. So I think we would have to force feed him vegetables. Or at least take away his fish and chips. Because we don't know if he doesn't like vegetables. We only know that he loves fish and chips.
Conrad,
I just can't think of anything we have that relates to his orders. Maybe the newspaper? He's trying to protect the disc. So he is doing it for the government, right? He's not doing it for his own selfish purposes. He was told to get the disc back by the higher-ups, by Lord Strongheart specifically. I'm gonna try the newspaper?
Take that!
Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
Take that!
Oh, okay. Okay. This just felt like it was, you know, his duty has been to protect these discs, so I thought, okay, if we present the disc, maybe that'll help. And I guess it worked. So we'll see what the logic behind this is. And it'll probably make sense in retrospect. But, is that, Mr. McGilden's Music Box Disc Council? Yes. The first disc of 2, which has already been placed in Mr. McGilden's special music box ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we've just discovered set in place as well. Goodness, this disc council? No, wait, I can't let you do that. Why not? Because it's got nothing to do with this case, that's why.
Objection!
Not true, Inspector. Eh? The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of 2 distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory. For crying out loud, sunshine, we're talking about state secrets here. If you letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason. Then do you admit the charge? That in order to protect those state secrets, you engage in unlawful dealings with the witness? You're mad. If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot.
Objection!
Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie to the court, and all because by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine. Don't you dare. Blackmailing shitty witnesses is weirdly satisfying. I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. My lord, if you please, the court must hear the sounds made by that music box. Come on, Van Zieks, for Pete's sake, stop him!
Objection!
Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. In this courtroom, my duty is to the law. So let me propose a toast to uncovering the truth, by fair means or foul. No! Very well, the defense's stance here and that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request,
The court will now listen as this music box is set in operation once more. This time with the second disc in place and both discs playing simultaneously.
And because I'm a lord, I do what I want. Oh, God.
Oh, listen to that. It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code.
Hold it, alright. I admit it, whatever you want. For the love of God, shut that bloomin' box up!
Inosuke has some freaking balls on him, man. I don't know that I could stand in court and say, "Oh yeah, no, let's just straight up leak government secrets." It's you know, it's not, yeah, that's a big thing. Anyways, let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you, or did you not, strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon? The Naruto family have no shame or sense. I love them. They also have no actual sense of self-preservation. They just they just do not know how to preserve their own lives. They'll just do a thing. They're just gonna push ahead no matter what. There's just no sense of self-preservation. And, you know, that's simultaneously very, like, noble and also, like, not healthy. Inosuke, not my king, not my country. This is for the racist jabs, you fuckers. Yeah, no kidding. Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker's storeroom door, Inspector? I did. Stop! What are you doing, man? It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess, and we were still doing it together, that's when he approached me with the deal. Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up! Psst, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbrokery the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector. With me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept, or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed. I couldn't let that information become public knowledge. Not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. People in the storeroom door, and the bloodstains on the overcoat. By giving false testimony, the witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that! Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury. I did. But then it turned out the people had only been made that night, after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You've struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime, namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windabank. You You... Traitor! What the hell? Bailiff! Bailiff! Restrain that man at once! That's it then. It's all over. I despised my life growing up. Those slums of vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. With what little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying, to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole. And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination. But then you decided to try to sell government secrets? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in small hours. I wanted to drown them out, with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day, I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Yeah, you're a fiend with a queer talent, so you are. I've money to throw your way if you're invested. All you need to do is go along with my little plan now. I was to steal the minister's telegraphic message logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the Ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The law of the devil's offerings, how easy it is to succumb. But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing. And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton. That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He had once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again, to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh? He was a different man to the one in my memory. A thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason, so I made up a story. I've got some work for you, father. I need some music box discs made. Music box discs, eh? A musician friend of mine has written some music. A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I brought the score with me. There are two, actually. I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, will you? They're in the loft. That's how I had to make the two discs. Thereby splitting the information in two. You were taking considerable precautions indeed. It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. So, what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part of a deal the exchange of the second disc? Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already, but it seemed he became reluctant to part with his money. But that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. Well, why was it on the omnibus 2 months ago? Your father, Mr. Belverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded and not yourself. When I received the 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me, "Next time there's an exchange, you'll let your old man do it, you understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore." That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilded. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the discs I'd asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge. Revenge? As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man will no doubt be able to imagine, McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish. My feet had barely touched British soil back then, and I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. I had made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then, so I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself had shown me that. Are you saying that... I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved. That tragic accident following the trial he had 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. McGilded's death that day was caused by this man. Everything is ready, sir. If you would like to follow me into the courtroom. What's this, officer? It's you that I was led to believe. I hope it's no inconvenience, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. Just time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. So that policeman who came to tell McGilded he could examine the omnibus again. That's right, an imposter hired by me. McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. A spine-chilling account indeed. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. A loose end? Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded. Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. This is the first of the 2 discs, and a music box you need to play them. Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, young man. What's this? Windibank's Pawnbrokery. Aye, here's a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. I can use it to redeem an article I deposited there for you. There's no need to give it a name, just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend the watchword. I've put a jewel in pawn for you. It'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will. I've never heard of a pawnbroker being used in quite that way before. Have you not, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokeries are various little places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault. So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And that on the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. I remember now that when we first met you at Windibank's that afternoon 2 days ago, you had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who we were looking for? From the trial. That pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar, anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGilded's pawns, that he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket, so I started to make some inquiries. Wait a second, didn't you break your cane? How is it fixed? Anyways, I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline, and he was absolutely right. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed was to wait until the girl went to Windibank's to redeem the articles. But unfortunately she redeemed only McGilded's overcoat and the 1 disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the 2nd disc inside was missing, because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion.
Meanwhile, as our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we picked up on the fact that McGilded was involved.
Inspector, you've recovered fast.
And my orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible, so we started gathering the fellow's possessions and examine whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, and we had to keep it as quiet as we could.
Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the 2nd disc was still there in the shop somewhere, so I knew it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did. So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night, with the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I can only describe as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I'd located the music box I'd sold to McGilded on the shelves of forfeited articles. And the 2nd disc was inside. Yes, I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened.
What are you doing in my shop?
A gunshot rang out in the shop, and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun, and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case. Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately, for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge.
A sorry tale.
It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windibank's on that wretched night.
Earlier, you called McGilded a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony, for what you have done is exactly the same. You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have. Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon? Oh, he's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Winterberg and the stealing of government secrets. Very good. And you, Inspector. Regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself. Yes, my lord, of course. It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. And the crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable. Now, to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Oh, yeah. It is time for the final adjudication. Adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Yes, sir. Garadeb Squadron is standing by, sir. This is really it now. The last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts. Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decisions to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Woohoo! That's the stuff. I'm off the hook.
Finally, Runo, you finally managed to do it.
Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there.
Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world.
Miss Lestrade, I am not finished with you yet. Eh? Oh, what are you looking at me like that for? What are you looking at me like that for? Hold on. Okay. Hold on, let me check my Scottish accent. Hold on. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider, Eh? 2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Winterberg's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGilded's property, it seems.
Eh? I never done nothing of the sort.
Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGilded's coat in your cell yesterday or anything.
Oh, and just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening.
And turning our attention to the defense, determining that when played together, the music box disc contained a message in Morse code was, oh well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, counsel. Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast to demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Oh, very sorry about that. It was the only way that I could get Inspector Gregson to admit to what he'd done. So, if I may say something on that, isn't that? If I may say something on that point, it's about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that really was Morse code at all. What? What are you saying, madam? Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole word seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
Goodness, madam. An unhealthy level of obsession one feels.
But I must say that, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those two discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of two different tones.
What?
Can that really be? It wasn't Morse code after all? My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again.
Are you off your nut? How many times do I have to tell you those discs contain ministerial secrets, Sunshine? This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know McGilded conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further. Ugh.
But it's really going to bother me.
Oh yeah, it's super secret code. I was decoding it for funsies, LMAO.
There are people like that in the world.
Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, my lord. Yeah, my lord.
That which you have seen here seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing. Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalogue of depravity. An appalling experience to befall any child. Come on, that ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums. I beg your pardon. If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes.
Gina.
But look, I reckon I worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you want it to change, you've got to start at some. You've got to start at home. You've got to change how you are yourself. You got to change how you are yourself. Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I eagerly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade never gracing my courtroom with her presence again. Now, with regard to the murder of Pop Winterbeck, proprietor of a pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare that the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty. Woohoo! Oh, nice one, Gina. That's just all, of course, it's a jand. On a personal note, I must say you surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within that Englishman, and at the same time saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures.
Wait, Gina's English? Not Scottish? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No! I've been focusing on the completely wrong accent all these years! Not years, but weeks, whatever. So long. Why didn't you tell me, sir? I don't know why I said years, but it's been a long time. Why didn't you tell me, sir? This has been weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, I don't know, maybe I could have figured it out, maybe. I can't exactly change it now, but maybe I could have put in the work to figure out a Cockney accent. I don't know. Ah, god damn it. God damn it. Oh my god. I spent weeks trying to figure out the best way to do a Scottish accent for this girl, and she's not even Scottish. Cockney does their slang by replacing words with rhyming ones. I don't know anything about the Cockney accent. Oh boy. Oh boy. God damn it. Oh well. So many weeks. So many. So many. Sorry, I just find it very funny that I've been, like, every week, like, I forget to refresh myself on the Scottish accent, and and so often I end up, like, doing it wrong, and then I stress over it. It's like, I'm like, oh my god, I should have refreshed myself on the Scottish accent, because I forgot to do this, and And it's like, she's not even Scottish! I've been stressing over this for weeks, and I haven't even been doing the right accent. Well, there's a Scottish guy in the second game, not wasted effort. Okay, well that's something. Then maybe you can make him Cockney. Don't even joke about that, Sarah. God. No, but look, like, as a voice actor, it is good for me to just, get experience with stuff, period. So, but it's just funny to me that this is something I've been stressing over for weeks, and I haven't even been doing it right. It's just very funny to me. It's not wasted effort, but it's just very funny to me that this has been something causing me genuine stress. Oh. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. You did. When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew, and try to understand. You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Well, you may ask, and one day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Alright, then I'll wait for that day, if I must. Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Barley, and my retirement from service 5 years ago, It gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again. Was Zeke wearing the cloak this whole time, or did he put it back on to be dramatic? I think he was wearing it the whole time. I think. 17th of April, 5:24 p.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared to? Congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew that you were innocent. Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me, right up to the end. Your result is your name. What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? No one ever has before. See, it kept the promise, I mean, properly. That's awful. I had figured something out today. All my life, growing up in the slums, I never trusted no one. That's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down. The more it hurts when they let you down. Yes, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. That betrayal left a big scar. You know though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Well, if you say so. Don't make a fat lot of sense to me, though. I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure. Oh, for crying out loud, pack it in. But I suppose I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright. Thanks. This is the way I see it, Rensuke. The defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. Defense lawyer is only as good as the faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. Who is this? What the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? Pardon the interruption, but what the deuce does the fellow have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruto. Oh wait, I forgot to actually say, that voice. It's too late for that. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Yes, it was me all along. I would have said when you finally noticed me. But you people, with your incessant babbling. Mr. Sholmes. Yes, it is me all along, see. What? How'd you change your clothes so quickly, Herlock? I love him. I love this man. The doctors need to come strap him to a bed to get some rest. No kidding. I'd assumed you'd been taken back to the hospital, to be honest. Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again. Oh. I happened to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me a leave of absence. How very above board. But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruto. Your tireless efforts are justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat to you. Oh, thank you. Humph. Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe. Have I irked you in some way, Miss Lestrade? You've been having us snooze in your nice soft bed. Some of us have been fighting for our lives. Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well, how I feel. Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Sholmes? And, in some way, I suppose, congratulations on order for you too, Mr. Lestrade. What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted? Why so half-hearted? Well, actually, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but an acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little, precarious. Well done, Mr. Sholmes. Not alarming in the slightest. Oh, the Reaper, you mean? Because anyone who's found not guilty in the trial he was working on winds up dead anyway, is that it? The very point I was trying to make. As exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilded, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself. Yeah, well, it don't bother me. Oh, really? Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like him upstairs. Him upstairs? You mean like God? Eh, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. He would have got the wrong end of the stick. There are some coves like that, Bogthrotter, who would have rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they get what they deserve. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another. Well, I ain't like the McGildeds of this world, so I ain't scared. I got principles, see. A trait in you which is to be admired, Mrs. Strahd. Oi! Just give it a rest, alright? As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Well,
There you are, Hurley! How long have you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there.
Ah, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait till I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves.
What happened?
As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff, but these dolts didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it?
I'm not sure, really.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day.
I'll be careful. I'm sorry, I don't know why that was so funny to me, but ouch.
Anyway, it's such a shame. I was so hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight, but you won't be able to come, will you?
Don't look like I'm going nowhere for a while. You heard the judge's patter. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. Hold on. You heard the judge's patter. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offences. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the Bogtrotter's stuff it wasn't lug, blah blah blah. Yes, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offence. A divinating offence? It's a droll, isn't it? I don't think so. Still, it has got me thinking about. It has got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't just start off as a lawyer, did you, Odo? Well, no, but I was never a pickpocket. Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. I'm gonna do something for them all, for them lot like me, for the slums. Something that makes a difference for them.
That's a wonderful idea, Jenny, and I'm sure you can do it. What is it? Nothing. Nothing. Miss Gina Lestrade.
Miss Gina Lestrade, the prison carriage has arrived, Ma'am. Not man. The prison carriage has arrived, Mum. Come with me and to the rear gate at once. Right, right. Well, looks like I'm off then. Yes. Goodbye, Gina, and good luck. Odo? Yes? Ah! What was that for? I mean, I don't know what to say, so... Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Mr. Strahd. Eh? On occasions such as this. I would recommend a simple thank you. Oh.
Oh, yes. It's good advice, Jenny.
Thanks for everything! I shoot you now! Hee. Right, well, I see. Well, right, I see. Well...
Thanks, Odo.
Oh, thanks for everything what you've done, for believing in me. Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. Well, well. Ah, quite the indomitable Pickpurse.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I bought a paper outside. It's a special edition and this trial is all over the front page. Pickpocket's innocence proven. Isn't it wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no, how silly of me. Ah, but anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Not again.
Well, what do you say, Runo? Hurley?
As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news. And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it? Let's not go there.
Alright then.
How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it? Let's not go there.
Alright then, maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was a record level of rainfall, apparently.
Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort. Alright then, what's the bad news?
The huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel in particular is awful, so sailings out of Dover have been delayed by a day or more.
Wait, Dover?
That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we may still make it in time to wave Susie off.
But there won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky. Who do you think I am, Mr. Hello? Mr. Sholmes? I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole. I don't... The great detective does it again. Indeed he does! I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport director's foibles. What? I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary. Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way.
What are we waiting for, then? To London, Victoria.
'18th of April, 5:32 a.m., Port of Dover, Quayside. That took somewhat longer than I had anticipated.
Susie's boat must be about to leave now.
Miss Susato, where are you? Over there! Look! It looks like she's reading something.
Hold it!
Miss Susato, wait! What are you doing? Love Herlock. Love him using his powers for evil. I almost feel like it's less evil and more just chaos. But like totally neutral chaos. You know, just kind of innocently manipulating people. You know, like he'll manipulate people, but he'll do it with absolutely no malicious intent, which is not something you can say about a lot of people, and I'm not sure whether that makes the manipulating better or worse.
Mr. Naruto, what are you doing here?
We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see.
Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go?
It went well. She was acquitted.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful news.
The book you were about to throw into the sea. It was your Encyclopedia of British Law, wasn't it?
Oh dear, I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, I was saying my final farewell.
You were saying goodbye to law? You, Susato-san? Would I be correct in assuming it's because of the peephole, Miss Susato?
I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable. That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time. Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean. Oh, that was so much fun. I stole Runo's armband.
Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me.
Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages. On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flapper mat, so I put it up my sleeve. Really? And then I rather forgot about it, until I found myself in Mr. Winterbanker's shop with it later that night.
I see.
And then... Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes!
Leave me, Mr. Naruto. Right.
After Mr. Naruto left the shop, I started to think. That door started to play on my mind. After Mr. Naruto left the shop, I started to think. That door started to play on my mind.
The storeroom door, you mean?
Yes. If Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind that door. And at that moment, a little device that I had up my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know.
So you used the cat flapper mat to make the peephole in the door.
As captured in a photographic print of the shop by one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
Indeed, it was of the first importance at that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruto's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing.
But when I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remember that trial 2 months earlier.
The trial of Magnus McGilded.
I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Winterbank. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing.
You were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime.
That's right. Then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
What do you mean?
Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door.
Ah. For which, a peephole would be the very thing.
Only the peephole I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference.
But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not? A trap? Is that why she did it?
So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the peephole to anyone, not even to the police. I know, and I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offense, even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Shells. If Mr. Naruto was completely backed into a corner, with no other possible means of escape, the truth about the peephole could save him. That was my plan.
She really does think of everything. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. Oh. You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with the crime scene. So Mrs. Sato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone, for your sake and Miss Lestrade's. Susato, honey, you did good. You did a good thing. In fact, it meant you got a better view of the scene while disturbing very little of it. This wasn't a problem. Miss Susato. Agreed, by the way. Sorry.
The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law.
Oh.
I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed myself to think that, is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Graydon is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that peephole as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure she would have been acquitted in the end. Mrs. Sato, what you did saved Gina's life.
Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruto, you saved me too from my regrets.
Well, we must all be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been assured. Yes, exactly. Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure.
But the revelation... But the revelation that the music box disc contains secret messages, Mr. Naruto. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration.
Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was.
Oh, it wasn't?
There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see. A telegraph operator. And she said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect. After all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in cipher to avoid being readily understood, should they have been intercepted. In cipher? I see. So then we could never have hoped to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-ply problem, I assure you. So... Asogi? Who's... what? Oh. Oh, sorry, he was spelling that. He was saying, it's quite a zero-ply problem, I assure you. Soji?
Well, that can't be a real word, can it? How funny. Wait. Iris, what did you just say? Oh, I just said Asugi.
Asugi? Asogi? I don't know. I guess I'll do with Asugi. Until someone tells me otherwise.
Does that word mean something to you?
Mean something? Asugi was the name of my best friend.
What? But how? How do you know that name, Iris? I wrote it down during the trial before, when the message was playing on the music box.
She transcribed it on the fly. She really is a genius.
I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. Oh. It suddenly occurred to me, you see, that there's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use it in their own languages.
I don't believe it. Are you saying...
That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before, but I think it's based on the Iroha pangram, isn't it?
And you mean to say that in Japanese Morse code, the message is Asugi?
Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code. Iris, would you let me see that?
Mr. Sato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code?
Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications.
Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version.
Be that as it may.
Iris, show me the message, please.
Of course. But what can this possibly mean?
Sato, of course I know our Morse code. Why don't you, Naruto?
But what can this possibly mean?
Whatever is in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes has made the color drain from Susato-san's face.
There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code.
So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications?
I don't understand the reason why, but...
Susato stomps Herlock's foot. Yeah!
The message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names. 4 names?
The first is Kei Asugi.
Kazuma Asugi.
Why? Why was his name on that disc? The second is A Shin.
Shin? I don't recognize that name.
The third is T. Gregson.
Gregson? Ah, it would seem Tobias Gregson is the 3rd man on the list. What's his name doing in a secret government communication as well?
And the last name?
What's the matter, Mr. Sato?
It's just so strange. So unexpected. Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense. The last name is J. Wilson. What?
Wilson?
John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy? It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then, after the 4 names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all 4. And that is the end of the message. Or rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris.
I just can't believe it. Who would ever have thought that those discs contained Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names. It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan.
So, Daddy could be in Japan then, where Susie and Rudo come from. Oh, well... no. It's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be lots of J's among them.
Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. But we can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't. You should! You should tell her about that! You should be honest with her! You should tell her! She deserves to know! This is so strange. Somehow in solving the case of Mr. Winterberg's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave.
I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside. Guiltier, the ship is going to set sail soon.
Yes, it seems so.
I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change on to a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan. You're really going then, Susie?
We wish you a safe passage, Mrs. Otto.
Thank you so much. I wish all of you the very best.
Mrs. Otto, I had hoped to have you always at my side, to guide me and support me.
Mr. Naruto,
Please,
come back soon.
as far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world. Oh.
I'm quite sure I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill. A promise? About your manuscript. Ah.
Oh yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise. Definitely, Iris. Mr. Naruto? Mr. Naruto?
Yes?
Do you remember the first time we met?
Yes, of course. On the SS Buria, when I was dragged out from that wardrobe, still half asleep. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown.
You know very well that I'm talking about after that.
I wasn't aware of that.
It's strange, but being thrown together, as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma-sama's great legacy.
Miss Susato.
And my instincts were right. I really want to believe, no, I'm sure that I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
Ooh, anime cutscene.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey. Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around. After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Ah, yes, Mr. Naruto. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the Special Express train, apparently. Huh?
It caused such a commotion on the line, all the other trains had to wait at stations.
But really, we would never have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault. Jesus Christ! I'm sorry, what? Huh? Huh? I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Miss Susato...
You love defending me. Do you love defending yourself in court?
Huh? Huh? Huh?
It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous.
See? Mr. Sholmes.
Yes.
Oh, word, if you don't mind. Why, certainly. Any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow.
Oh yes, I love Runo's words. I know just the one he'll use here.
Then I really must say...
Objection.
Oh my god! I can't believe I finally got to the end of the first Great Ace Attorney. This has been a long time coming. In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Yarb. Something was afoot, though it transpired I had ordered them all myself. So I advertised them for sale with "used by Mr. Jobs to solve an important case," and the money I've earned consulting detective work pays a pittance by comparison.
I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. And when I'm this busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement. For some dry toast and insipid coffee. I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfasts.
Witness, your testimony is riddled with contradictions. I don't remember my voices for these characters at all. Well, I don't know. So his father's an innocent man, or are you calling my son a liar? I don't remember these characters. This is my courtroom is my actually I kind of remember my courtroom is no place for your petty arguments.
Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I laid low on the steamship for a while. But last night I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board.
I've done nothing wrong! All I did was give my guy's offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kittens on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. It's not fair. But, no, yeah, anyways. Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for policing in the New Age. I dream a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline, like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts mesh together in perfect unison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. Latest Rats magazine is out, and I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote, now I get a standing ovation. Wanna hear it? Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. Her ladyship puts me to shame. Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Jodie, my old jailbird. Must say, battling with those bully stars every day has done wonders for the Dicky Peg. Managing rather well with the housework too. Got this maid business typed up, I'd say. Hope the gossiping neighbours don't realise the man of the house is his own maid. His own maid, or whatever. God, and I don't, because it's all automatic, I don't have time to look up all the different voices I created for all these different characters.
My Rowley is back on the beat again, all thanks to the Reaper.
There's nothing I enjoy more these days than hunting out small changes in the gutter. I'm a better Bobby now, looking out for Londoners and the dropped halfpennies and whatever, anyways.
Oh Pat, oh Rowley.
Looks like I'm gonna be doing time for a bit now. Iris comes every day for an hour, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases what Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them. When you get into them. Gina, are you going to be a detective? Is that what you're going to look to do? Yes, I renounced my upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets? Please.
Yeah, Rob. I ate the ass we used to do. We're gonna try to plan to come back of Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, right? The three Musker Watsits. Milk in the neighborhood for all it's worth.
Well, she might not become a cop, Sarah. She might go the path of Herlock, you know, private investigator kind of thing. This past painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters, I've come to realize that's what life is all about. Naruto-san, I promise, your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well. Wow. I mean, seriously, wow. This is, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, we've got the entire next game to go through. Damn, I mean, it's been so much fun. Just voice acting 2 hours every Thursday, you know, because I love voice acting, but I don't really, I'm just not sort of in a place where I can do a lot of auditioning and stuff. So this really lets me, you know, this really lets me continue to develop the skill of, okay, you know, snap judgment, what does this person sound like? What does this person sound like? What does this person sound like? You know, which is what you need for auditions. You know, and, you know, and so it allows me to keep my voice acting career, going forward without, even though I'm not actually auditioning for anything right now. So it's been really fun to do that. It's been challenging, really challenging, but lots of fun. Also, I just want to say, the relationship between Ryunosuke and Susato is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so good. It's so well written. It's really lovely. It's just so lovely. Yeah, they are such good friends, and I do really appreciate that they're friends. Like, they're not in a romantic relationship, they're just really good friends. Like, I could see why someone ships them, but also I just love that they're just great partners. They're just really great friends. They're just great. I love that. I love that their dynamic has no real romantic undertones. They just deeply care about one another and support one another and value one another. They love each other as friends. And that's okay. In fact, it's awesome. Platonic love is great. It's also so great that she's the one with legal knowledge and he's the creative objector, so they make such a great legal pair. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Absolutely. The moment when your boyfriend's little sister is your best friend. You mean Kazuma? Okay. Well, I guess next week we'll start on The Great Ace Attorney 2. Yeah, Kazuma couldn't introduce them before because he knew they would team up against him to tease him endlessly. It's true. Actually, as he was back in Chapter 1, I don't think Ryanosuke would have done a lot of teasing. He just kind of wasn't confident enough. I'm gonna send you guys over to the Geijimi Buffet. Have fun, and I may or may not be doing more Monkey Island later. We'll see. Toodles, and I'll see y'all soon.